we're going to dive in to a weekly market update for the real estate market here in Tippecanoe County. As you all know, I am a realtor here in Tippecanoe County. I love helping people find home in the Lafayette and West Lafayette area. And I want to give you some insight into what the real world market looks like here in November in 2024 in Tippecanoe County. So this data is through the end of October. So our data locks on November, on or about the 7th of the month. And then we can have a look back at the previous month. So let's see, what does the real estate market look like in Lafayette, West Lafayette, the greater Lafayette area in Tippecanoe County. So we're going to start with inventory. And this is average daily inventory across all properties across the entire county. And we can see the headline here is 198 homes. And if we look over on the graph over here on the right-hand side, we'll see it's almost a flat line from last month, from September to October. It was 202 in September to 198. This was average daily inventory. If you've heard me talk at all, you have heard me talk about the fact that we do not have enough homes for sale here in the Lafayette area. In a balanced market, we should have about 300 homes for sale at any given time. This chart is a year-long look back, and we can see that we never pierced the 220 and even the 210 mark. We lived down here. You'll see that it dipped really, really low in January, February, and started to climb back up. We're going to see that again. Real estate is the weather. Weather is real estate. The colder it gets, the less activity there is out there in the market. But we got down to a low of 104 last February. Excuse me. And we built back up to a high of 202 last in September and hung out right around there at 198. So just about 200, but we're still a third under what would be considered a balanced market here in Tippecanoe County. But we're holding steady, and we're definitely in range over the last, let's call it 3 to 4 months of being in the same kind of percentage area. So let's go on to new listings. This is how many new homes are listed for sale in any given month. And in October of 2024, 167. And if we look down here over at the graph, look at this. It's almost a flat line going all the way back to July. In July, 170 homes came on the market. In August, 164. In September, we had 166, with 167 in October. So we're consistently having the same amount of homes come on the market, but it's not enough. It's only barely 50% of what it should be. So if you're sitting in a home and you're thinking about selling and you're wondering, is your home going to sell or not? Well, look at this. What does this tell you? This tells me that your house will sell because there's just not enough of them out there. And this has been a trend for a very long time. Again, this chart that we're looking at is a single year look back. But if we were to look at charts going back multiple years, we would see that there's been an anemic number of homes coming on the market every month. Closed sales. So this is the transaction is complete. You now own the house. Congratulations, Mr. Buyer. And in October, it was 154. It went up 44% month over month. And we're going to see as we look through some more of this data that there was a little bit of a dip or a spike in the data depending on which chart we're looking at and what data we're looking at in September. So closed sales went really low, 107 in September, but it popped back up to 154. And see, that's much more in the trend line for what we were seeing through the rest of the year. So that data there in September is a little bit of an anomaly. Again, think about that 300 number as a kind of just guidepost of where to put these numbers in context. We're up 17% year over year, That's excellent number. That means that we are doing better than we did in 2023, but we're still rather slow. But again, if you want to sell, your house will sell. If you want to buy, it means that it's a pretty tight market and you might have some competition out there. New pending contracts. So we're building a story here. We started with new homes for sale, not new, but homes for sale, new listings coming on the market. Then we talked about closed sales. Now this is pending contracts. Your home came on the market. A buyer came and saw it and said, I'd like to write an offer on that. They sent you an offer and you said, yes, I'll accept that offer. Now you're working through that process to get to the closing table. This is that new pending contracts. And look, just like before, almost flat. 141 in October, 138 in September, 138 the previous month. And we're on this line right here. 2% month over month plus 8% year over year. My story is getting a little repetitive here. If we back it up, let's go back. New listings, 167. Now let's go forward. New pending contracts, 141. A difference of 26. All but 26 of the homes that came on the market in October had a pending contract in October, is one way to look at that data. That is a very, very high percentage. And we're going to tell that story in another chart or two. Median days on market, we're going to tell it right here. I talk about this a lot on the channel. If you've watched almost any of my videos, you've probably heard about my fascination with median days on market. And in October of this year, it was 13. It is up 18% month over month, 160% up year over year. But let's look down here at these graphs. Look, we're trending up. Let's go. We are October 13. Let's go down here to the low point. June 4. Almost 3 times, 3 times as long. 4 to 13. 3 times as long. Just 1 day short of 2 weeks. That's immensely long, right? It's immensely long in comparison to 4 days, but it's still not very long in comparison to a balanced market where we would expect to see 24 to 30 days on the market being about a baseline number. We haven't seen that in a very, very long time. I mean, if we pop back here to January, we'll see that it sat at 23 for a single month. But what did we say just a few minutes ago about the weather and real estate in January? So that number is really an outlier and can almost be ignored. So what does that mean? What does median days on market mean? It means you put your house on sale, and that number of days later, half of them will have sold. So if 100 houses come on the market today, 50 of them will have an accepted offer 13 days from today, 2 weeks from today, and the other 50% will be longer than that. There are still areas of the county that number is much shorter. If you dive into the West Lafayette School Corporation numbers, you'll see that their numbers are much, much lower. So we're telling the story of what? We're telling the story of the market. And what do you think that market is? Is it strong? Is it weak? Is nobody buying? Is nobody selling? No, these numbers are a strong market. Anybody who tells you that the real estate market is dead isn't living in Tippecanoe County, Indiana. Houses are selling at a clip each and every day of the year. And the market is strong here. We need more houses. We need builders to build more and faster. We need people who want to downsize to get their home on the market and sell. We need first-time home buyers to get out there, and they're probably the ones that are pinched the most because the crossroads of interest rates and what is good for homeowners is not so good for first-time homeowners. Is your value of your property might be going up, but that means it's a little harder for first-time home buyers to get into the market. Months of inventory. This is a fun one. This is if no other homes came on the market, how long would it take us to sell out of these homes? And we'll see October of 2024, that number is 1.3. And we'll see if we look at the chart over here. Last month, it spiked to a year-long high of 2 months of inventory. I mean, if we look back at this chart, it got nowhere close to this peak at any time in the last in the last 5 calendar years. Sorry, this chart actually stretches back 5 years. So that was definitely a bit of an anomaly. We sunk down to 1 month of inventory this month, but that's much more in line with what we saw in August. It was 1. In July, it was 1. And they're doing some rounding here. 0.8 down here. We should have more than a month. 3 to 5 months of inventory is that number. So anemic, not enough homes for sale. Median sales price. What was I just saying? Your home's an investment. You want your investment to go up in value, and undoubtedly it does. And everyone's like, when's the market going to crash? When's the market going to crash? It's not. It's not in Lafayette, in West Lafayette, in Tippecanoe County. Maybe it will in some pockets of the country. I'm an expert on Indiana and Tippecanoe County and Lafayette and West Lafayette. We have a nice trend line going up over the last calendar year. A year ago, we were sitting at about $265 as the median sale price. This last month, the median sale price, $310,000. That's over the entire county. So that means that half the homes that sold in the county sold for $310,000 or less, and the other half sold for $310,000 or more. So that's the midpoint of the market is sitting at 310. That says a lot about the average value of a home. It says a lot about what a starter home costs today. It's not what you paid for it. If you're currently a homeowner, the price of your starter home, what you paid for a starter home, you can't even begin to imagine what it costs today. If you're shopping for that starter home, if you're a first-time home buyer, it makes it a little more challenging for you. Is it impossible? No. Is it challenging? Yes. Nobody is served by sugarcoating the truth. As houses go up in value, it gets harder to buy your first one. But that's why you need an expert in your corner to help you. That's why you need to call me and let me help you with your home search here in the Lafayette area. And while I'm going on about all of this, hit the like and subscribe button and tell YouTube how much you enjoy all of these videos and all of this market insight. Sale price as percent of listing price. So this data is how much do you list your home for? How much is the home going to sell for? Do you think it's going to sell for? And then what does it actually sell for? And we'll see in October, it was 97.7% of asking price. And we'll see over here almost a flat line to September. And definitely, on this trend line, it got up to about 99.2% in June. That really, really comes down to mostly some sellers offering some closing cost concessions, most typically, that sort of thing, at 97.7%, you're on $100,000, you're talking about $2,200 and change. So, on a $200,000 house, you're talking about $4,200. You're talking about 2.2%, 2.3%. Closing costs, quite often I'll see things along the lines of 3% concessions, maybe for closing costs, maybe for repairs, that sort of thing. So essentially what I'm saying is people are getting their asking price. They're giving a little at closing, but most of the time they've probably factored that in to their asking price. They knew they were going to give that 3%. We're not talking about somebody who's listing something for $300,000 and then selling it for $200,000. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody that's taking something that's $300,000 and taking, 2% and change off of that. So, $6,000, say $7,000 off of a $300,000 price. That's not a lot. It's really, really not. And that is the last chart that we're going to look at today. And that is our real estate market update for Lafayette and West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County here in November of 2024. So tell me, what do you guys think in the chat, in the comments below? Leave me a comment about what you think home values are doing. How do you see your home value? Has it gone up? Do you think it's gone down? Would you like to actually know what it is? Did you know that I can provide that number for you? I'm an expert at figuring out what your home is worth. Now, that being said, you know who the true expert in figuring out what your home is worth is? It's the market. But I spend a lot of time figuring out what homes are going to sell for. And it's important that I get that number right, because when we bring a home to sale on the market, we want it to sell quickly. And homes that sell quickly are homes that are priced correctly. So if you're interested in the value of your home, send me a message or leave a comment below and I'll get right back to you. You can text me. All of my contact information is right here at 765-413-6190. Scan the QR code this way. There it is. Scan the QR code. Get that information loaded directly into your phone. Hit the like and subscribe button. Tell YouTube how much you enjoy watching all of our videos here on at Lafayette Live and Geoff Gooch Realty.